As a dive and as someone who else Liz and Gaeul, I really felt like I needed to talk about this. The problem with toxic solo stands is something that affects a lot of fandoms, and luckily I think that IVE's fandom is actually quite chill for the most part. There aren't big problems with solo stans, but lately some solo stans are starting to get even more toxic, and I'm talking about Gaeul and Liz solo stans specifically. I honestly don't even want to include these people in the fandom because they're mostly just token stans who don't even stan the girls, but even then, they're still giving this fandom a bad reputation and I feel like they're starting to disturb the peace among dives. Now let's get into the video and let's see why these stans are so problematic. Let's start off with Liz's situation. Even if IVE doesn't have fixed positions, Liz is clearly the main vocalist along with Yujin. I feel like there's this misconception in K-pop that leads people to believe that the main vocalist is the one who always needs to have the most lines. I get why people believe this. At the end of the day, the main vocalist is the strongest singer and it makes sense for them to sing the most. But line distribution doesn't only have to do with vocal skills. Whenever it comes to distributing the lines to the members, each member tries to sing that line, and in the end the producer gives it to the one who suits it the most. The criteria is not only skills, but also how much your voice suits the vibe that the line is supposed to have. So the line distribution is made depending on the vibe of the song or the vibe of the specific line. Just because someone is a very talented vocalist, it doesn't mean they should automatically sing the most if there are other members who deliver certain lines in a way that perfectly captures the mood of the song. This is why the member who gets the most lines is often not the main vocalist. And this happens in many different groups in K-pop. The main vocalists are actually used in a different way by producers. They aren't necessarily given the most lines. They are given the hardest ones, the ones that no other member could pull off, such as high notes, ad-libs, and any other line that requires a certain level of skills that the other members don't possess. So even if Liz doesn't get the most lines, she is always gonna sing the hardest ones along with Yujin, who is also treated as a main vocalist. With that being said, we also have to stop pretending like Liz doesn't get lines, because Kitsch is the only song that I think we should really criticize in terms of line distribution. There are many songs where Liz ranked first, and there are so many others where she ranked in the top 3. She always gets to showcase her main vocal skills, and that's what matters. Nobody is ever gonna forget she is the main vocalist if they listen to an IVE song. And this is why I think y'all are exaggerating. If a member isn't able to showcase their talents and is not utilized according to what they can do best, then that is a problem. But Liz's voice will always shine and be used at its best. Now on to the screen time problem. I think we can all admit that the screen time distribution isn't always equal in IVE's music videos. In most of them it is, but in some of them it's not. And this is the time to take positions into consideration again. Just like you would think it's only right if the main vocalist gets many lines, it's also right that the center and the visual gets to act like the center and the visual, which means having some more screen time compared to the other members. Positions exist for a reason. Everybody has a role they're supposed to fit, and as long as there is balance between each member and each different roles, then I don't see the problem. Gaeul's situation is not that different. She also has a specific role in the group, which is the rapper and the dancer. This is why she shines in those songs that are more rap-focused and she stands out on stage, especially when she gets dance breaks during award shows and special performances. Unfortunately for her, IVE's title tracks are not rap-focused. There isn't much rapping, and I appreciate the fact that IVE is a group that doesn't just throw unnecessary raps in their songs if it doesn't fit. Since there's not a lot of rapping, Gaeul is given singing parts that suit her lower register, and I know that those parts are not long, but as much as she has a very good vocal color and she always sounds pretty nice, she is also the weakest vocalist in the group. And now let me tell you this, if you were saying that it makes sense for the best vocalist to get the most lines, by this logic it also means that it makes sense for the weakest vocalist to get the least lines. Nobody is saying Gaeul shouldn't sing at all, absolutely not, but I totally get why the other members are given longer lines since they are unarguably stronger singers than she is. I absolutely love Gaeul's voice, but I totally get this decision from the producers, and I know for sure she's gonna stand out a lot during more rap-based songs like Royal and Hypnosis, and in songs with a lower pitch where she can show her beautiful lower register like My Satisfaction and Blue Blood. So in conclusion, Gaeul is just sticking to her role in the group, which is the rapper. It's just unfortunate that IVE is not a group that focuses a lot on rap. but calling Gaeul mistreated is still such a reach, especially because she always gets to write her raps and have control over them, which is beautiful to see and is not something that every company allows their artists to do. Now let's talk about the real problem with the token stans. Gaeul and Liz should be appreciated just like everybody else, and they should get plenty of opportunities to showcase their talents. But I'm getting tired of their token stans always throwing a fit whenever I've released something. For example, if Liz gets the most lines but not the most screen time, instead of appreciating the fact she got the most lines and simply wishing for her to have more exposure in the MV, you'll act so shady and weird to the other members, as if it was the members themselves who are in charge of screen time distribution. And even when Liz gets a pretty good screen time distribution, you all will still complain just because maybe she ranked second instead of first in line distribution. It seems to me like some of you token stans will only be happy if you see Liz ranking first in everything, especially if you also see Wonyoung ranking last in everything, because let's be honest, no matter which member ranks last, as long as it's Wonyoung it's okay. You all literally want to see Wonyoung with no lines and no screen time, I swear. Then let's move to Gaeul. I also wish to see her ranking in the top 3 more often, but this is no justification to always complain even when she has a good amount of lines and screen time. This is not a justification to be shady to the other members. I swear it's always Gaeul and Liz solo stans, because whenever Ray and Esau rank last in something, nobody fucking cares. If Ray and Esau have less screen time and lines, you all stay silent. But as soon as Liz and Gaeul don't rank first, you all lose your minds. Besides kitsch, IVE's line distributions are pretty damn fair. Liz doesn't always have to rank first just because she is the main vocalist, because Eugene is also considered a main vocalist. So you need to chill and learn how to appreciate the exposure they get instead of creating false mistreatment narratives. It makes sense to wish for an even better treatment, but not in the shady way you guys do it. What pisses me off is that most of these people aren't even dives. Dives love all of the girls and wish the best for everyone without bringing down the members. They do not bias. These token stans won't even care about Liz and Gaeul the moment they get exposure. They will not support them in their solo schedules because they don't actually care. They just want to bring IVE down. That's all. These stans' way of downplaying the other members' talents is what pisses me off the most though. Because one thing is simply wishing for better treatment, and another thing is constantly shading and downplaying the other members. Let me start off with Eugene. Whether you like it or not, Eugene is a very talented vocalist and is also the main vocalist. IVE clearly relies on both her and Liz, so the fact that some Liz stans love to act as if Liz was the only vocally skilled member and the only one whose vocals matter is absurd. A group is stronger if there are multiple people with the same set of skills. IVE is only stronger for having 2 main vocalists. I don't understand why you wanna act like they only have one. And for all of those people that are gonna say Eugene is not good, this instantly goes to show that you don't know her at all. Because that girl is capable of so much and has the ability to convey so many emotions when she sings. This is not about who's better between Liz and Eugene. They are both amazing and they are both essential to IVE. This is what matters. And speaking of downplaying vocals, I absolutely despise the way y'all bring down Wonyoung's vocals as if she didn't have one of the biggest improvements ever. This girl sounds heavenly in every song. Her voice is just so pleasing to the ears. And even if she's not a strong vocalist in the sense that she can sing high notes and do crazy runs, this doesn't mean her voice is not worth being appreciated and she shouldn't get to showcase it. Same thing with Esau. She also had one of the biggest improvements out of all the members, and I honestly love the way she sounds, especially when it comes to songs where she gets to sing in her lower register like Blue Blood and My Satisfaction. There's no reason to bring her vocals down, and there's also no reason to bring her rapping down. She had a small rap part in Off the Record, and the amount of people saying Gaeul should have sung it was so infuriating. Esau got to stand out for once and you all complain. Not to mention that was supposed to be a cute rap and Esau's voice was perfectly suited for that vibe. So what I'm trying to say is that there's no need to constantly bring down the other girls just because Liz and Gaeul don't get everything you think they deserve to get. So in conclusion, even if I think that things are relatively peaceful in the dive fandom, I also feel like these stans are making things more toxic and will end up ruining the experience for other stans who actually care about the girls and want the best for every member. Like I said, those token stans can't even be considered dives, but they still ruin things for everyone. Let me know if you feel the same way and feel free to comment your experience with this type of token stans even in other K-pop fandoms. Thanks for watching this long video till the end. Bye everyone.